قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم من عذاب عليم. قالوا طائركم معكم فإن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني إليه ترجعون. أتخذ من دونه آلهة يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. لا يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون. وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون. وآيتهم لهم الأرض ميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون. وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون يأكلوا من ثمره وما عملت أيديهم أفلا يشكرون. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض من أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى ذكر النجوم الكثير. يا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار كل في فلك يسبحون. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذرية في الفلك مشحون. وخلقنا لهم من مثل ما يركبون. وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولهم ينقذون. إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون. وما تأتيهم من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون. ولا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهل يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مركبنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواج في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون. لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون. سلام قولا من رب رحيم. ممتاز اليوم أيها المجرمون. ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. واعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد ضل منكم سبيلا كثيرا فلن تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكس في خلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين ينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين ألم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون ولا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون وسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Wait from here? Yeah, sure.
محمد صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
غم شبی بلایا نہیں جاتا ہم سے غم شبی بلایا نہیں جاتا یہ داغ کلیجے کا یہ داغ کلیجے کا مٹایا نہیں جاتا ہم سے غم شبیر بلایا نہیں جاتا کہتے ہیں علمدار کے دے موت خدایا کہتے ہیں علمدار کے دے موت خدایا प्यासी सकीना को दिखाया नहीं जाता हमसे गमे शबीर बुलाया नहीं जाता शेबोले कमर टूटी संभा लो अली अकबर शेबोले कमर टूटी संभा लो अली अकबर अब्बास सदा देते हैं जाया नहीं जाता हमसे गमे शबीर बुलाया नहीं जाता उठे है कभी बैठ है मौला अकेले उठते हैं कभी बैठते हैं मौला अकेले क्या लाशे फर्जंद उठाया नहीं जाता हमसे गमे शबीर बुलाया नहीं जाता अकबर तो छुपाते हैं शबीर न देखे अकबर तो छुपाते हैं शबीर न देखे हाथों से मगर जख्म छुपाया नहीं जाता हमसे गमे शबीर बुलाया नहीं जाता या मौला लिया और बसता है ज़ैनब या मौला लिया और बसता है ज़ैनब बेबस है सकीना को छुटाया नहीं जाता हमसे गमे शबीर बुलाया नहीं जाता हमसे गमे शबीर बुलाया नहीं जाता मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Alias Kutirani. I'm Razia's husband. Yes, everybody knows me by that. We go to mosque. It's Razia not done it. That's what they know me by. Anyway, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for attending this information session, and also for those online listening. We have three stages of how we're going to do this. We'll start with Sheikh Khalil Chamsi, and then Mohammed Adil, who's going to talk about Sheikh Khalil Chamsi will explain the benefit of Ziyaraat of Imam Hussain. I was reading somewhere and it says that you cannot explain the Ziyaraat of Imam Hussain. You have to experience it yourself. You have to be there among the people, especially in Arbaeen. So this Mr. Sheikh Khalil Chamsi, Mohammed Adil, and then myself and Razi will be here for the logistic, explaining you the facilities and everything. I'd like to thank in advance the people who helped us today, Sheikh Khalil Chamsi, Mohammed Adil, Abbas Sirji, and Yusuf Sirji. I just want to say this young man here, Abbas, is going to be getting married, inshallah, in Najaf in the month of December. Those who want to join us to go to his wedding, please do come. Labbaik, Ya Hussein, Labbaik. This is the cry you'll be hearing in Arbaeen. This is thousands and thousands of people in Karbala will be shouting for the sake of Imam Hussein. What does it mean? It's a simple word. He's saying, we are at your service, Ya Hussein. We are at your service, Ya Hussein. Before I request you for Surah Fatiha, I just want to mention about one gentleman. And I promised myself that whenever I have an information session for Arbaeen, I would like to mention him. Is Maroom Jafar Ali Boga. Maroom Jafar Ali Boga was from Alamdaar, Pennsylvania, and has been with Razia several times in Ziyaraat. Several years ago, in the month of, in Arbaeen, when we were coming back to go back to Damascus at that time, the market was open. He wasn't feeling very well. So in Kazmain, I asked him, you want me to stay with you or you want to travel? He said, no, I want to be with you. When we reached the terminal airport, the security came and said that Jafar Bhai had passed away. He passed away in a wheelchair at the terminal. So I made the arrangement for the Zawaz to go back and I stayed there. And the beauty of this person is he was such a moment that he never played. He always prayed his namaz on time, prime time. He prayed. So then I asked, once you die there, the country passport you hold, they come right away. They gave the passport. So he was an American. I had the counselor for me. He said, this man now is in our hand. We need his family to tell us what to do with his body, and they took away his passport right away. So then they contacted the children before I could even, and then they said, whatever the group leader does, you should let him do what he wants to do to bury him. So I found out, I asked around to find out how much was the burial cost. And they said the burial cost was $825. We went to his pocket and he had $835. Wow. So he, alhamdulillah, buried himself. So let's pray Surah Fatiha, especially for Maroom Jafar, for all the Maroom and Maroomeen of our family. Fatiha. Thank you, Yusuf, for saying Yasin. Sheikh, Bismillah.
I request you Surah Fatiha for all of our friends, please. Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى الطاهرين. As I say, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Firstly, I would like to take this opportunity that every year Imam Hussain, he grants us opportunity to address to Zawars, and I thank Yusuf Bhai for doing a very brief of Maqtal to explain the sequence of the tragedy of Karbala. So we are here to understand what is our duties and what is our roles and what we try and do when we go for Ziyarah of Abdullah. So the meaning of Ziyaraat actually in Arabic is Ziyarah, meaning it is commonly used in Arabic, meaning it means visitation, to visit. But for us, it means visiting holy sites, like going to Karbala, Najaf, Samara, Kazamain, Makkah, Medina, and Mashhad, and very close to that is Qom. And therefore, we all attribute the ziyarah in the way of looking at our holy personalities in the form of Ahl al-Bayt alayhi salam. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Nur, chapter 24, verse number 36, في بيوت أن أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال. Meaning, in this lamp is found in the houses in which Allah has permitted to be raised to honor for celebration in them of His name. And in them is glorified in the morning and the evening, perpetually, again and again. So when we go to these holy places, basically we are visiting the personality. But to visit that personality is a wasila, is a means to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the path of Ahlul Bayt, we find that we glorify, we praise Him, we are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of our Ahlul Bayt. So the paramount theme or importance of one to embark on ziyarah are as follows. Accepting the high status enjoyed by the Imam granted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one. Number two, pledging allegiance and swearing obedience to the Imam. So that way, when you swear allegiance to all Ahlul Bayt and our present Imam, Imam Hujjah, it means that ziyarah should be a transformation when one leaves Toronto or any of the city of North America or UK or any part of the world. When you come back, you are not just the same. You have changed yourself and elevated yourself spiritually. Number three is to strive to transform by looking at the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, keeping Allah's command and pleasure so that we all make the decision which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, whenever you ask anybody why you go for ziyarah, of course you go for the love of Abu Abdullah. But at the back of it, because we always like to make transactions, to do business transactions, what is the reward of ziyarah? Everybody wants to know what is the reward of ziyarah. So our fifth Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam, he said, if people knew significance and the merit of visiting the holy sacred shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, they would have died with enthusiasm for visiting it, and their breath would have stopped. Meaning all our brothers and sisters here, it's such an opportunity. I would say, whatever you're investing, from my experience, for so many years I go for ziyarah, it's never wasted. It's a huge investment, but it is a worthy investment than rather putting on a mortgage, a house, or buying a car. This is, I'm telling you from personal experiences. So what he says is that the one who visits shrine with zeal, with the love of Ahlul Bayt, Allah will compensate him with the following reward: 1,000 accepted Hajj, 1,000 Umrah, and 1,000 martyrs like the martyrs of Badr. 1,000 fastings. Freeing 1,000 slaves to earn divine pleasure. He will secure from difficulties and calamities for the entire year, the list of which will be settled. Shaitan, he troubles us in every aspects, in every part of it. But when you visit Abu Abdullah, you find Shaitan goes away from you, cannot even touch you. And if he expires in that 1 year, like we heard that one brother expired in the journey of the ziyarah, the angel of mercy will participate in his shrouding and burial. And they will seek Allah's forgiveness for this person who has passed away. His grave will be open, it will be wide, and Allah will sort of protect him from the squeezing of the grave. And Munkar and Nakir, the questioning angels, will be very, very soft on this person who has passed away. And on the day of resurrection, he'll be blessed with the brilliance which will be witnessed from the east to the west. And the announcer will announce, this is the one who visited Abu Abdullah Imam Hussein shrine with zeal and eagerness. So these are the benefits of going for ziyarah, not only Abu Abdullah, even for others. Interestingly, Abdullah bin Mikan narrates from Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. One who performs visitation of Imam Hussein's shrine for seeking divine pleasure, Allah will cleanse him of his sins, and he is like a newly, or she is like a newly born baby. Now, if you go sincerely to Abu Abdullah and you ask there, take wasila of Imam and ask Allah to forgive you, and I'm sure our sins will be forgiven. So, interestingly, one old man he used to visit, his name is Ali bin Muhammad, used to visit Abu Abdullah every week. But because of the age, he was not able to walk. He used to walk from his home, which was a village, a distance from the Ziyaraat pharmacy. But he would go there, and every Thursday he was legally there. But now he became old, he couldn't walk. So he used to take him a month to come back to Imam. When he was there, a slumber took him, and he saw Imam coming out and talking to him. He says, Ali ibn Muhammad, why you have been so difficult for me? Why you have become hard on me? You don't come and see me regularly. So he tells him, my body can't take it, my physical ability is less. Then Imam says, I want to see you every time here because your love for me makes me very happy. See, these are the love of Ahlul Bayt. Now, the further part of it, we will be visiting Imam Ali al-Naki, his shrine as well. Imam al-Naki summons or asks Muhammad ibn Hamza that I want you to go and pray for me because he was not feeling well under the dome of Imam Hussein. The Imam of the time is asking somebody to go and pray for him under the dome of Imam Hussein. So this man, he goes, but when he comes back, he asks another companion of the 10th Imam. His name is Ali ibn Bilal. He says, I don't know why Imam asked me to go and pray under the dome of Imam Hussein when he is the holiest living Imam of the time. Interesting, right? So then when this man, he visits Imam, he sits with him. Ali sits with the Imam. Sits with Imam Ali al-Naki. And Imam, he was about to leave. Imam told him, sit more, let's discuss. Imam knew what was in his heart. And as soon as he sits with him, he tells him the question. As soon as that's the question, he says, why didn't you reply that the Prophet, the Messenger, used to circumambulate in Kaaba and kiss Hajar al-Aswad, even though the sanctity of the Prophet and man is greater than the Kaaba and the Hajar al-Aswad. And then he says, because Imam Hussein is loved so much by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of his sacrifice, when you go and pray there, nothing is rejected, everything is accepted. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I know in our communities, we have many people who are sick, who need our du'as. So when you go there, if you have an opportunity, you can't remember the person's name, please pray for whoever is sick in our communities. May Allah alleviate and bring relief to their health. Please. So how does one prepare for ziyarah? Spiritually, mentally, and physically. You know, like Brother Akib is going to talk about it, of the walk. You've got to be physically fit. You've got to eat properly. You've got to exercise. You've got to walk. It's very, very important to be physically in a good condition. Mentally also, you have to prepare yourself when you go there. It's not a country like Canada or US or UK. It's different. But at the same time, you're going to the Holy Land. Those are the places where Ahlul Bayt, they walk through. And you're going to walk in those paths where Ahlul Bayt walked. Imam Ali, Imam Hussein, Imam Hassan, Imam Ja'far Sadiq has walked there. He used to go for Ziyaraat quite often of Imam Hussein. Imam Ali al-Naki, Imam Hassan Askari, Imam Jawad, Imam Musa al-Kadhim. All these have walked through it, different areas. So one has to prepare himself, and the important thing is, if you can, the last 3 days before you embark on your trip, keep fast. The reason is, when you keep fast, it makes you a humble person. Number two, settle all your dues. Pay your homes, your zakat, whatever you have. If you owe somebody, please pay off your dues. That's why then the sins are forgiven by the Imam, because you have taken your responsibilities very, very seriously. When you are also going for ziyarah, you'll find many scholars there, like Sheikh Tusi, Sheikh Mufid. They are buried, like Sheikh Mufid is buried in Kazmain, Sheikh Tusi is buried in Najaf, and there are many other scholars who are buried in the periphery of these personalities. Recite Surah Fatih for them and remember them. And when you go to Karbala, especially Karbala, try to be simple, don't be ostentatious, don't demand too much. You know, the organizers, I know Razia Bhai and Asghar Bhai, they try their best. I cannot say that they are doing this for money. I'm very sure not. I know that from their ability, the way they do things, they do fi sabilillah. So sometimes, you know, in the journey, it's not like pre-programmed and, you know, everything is timely. Like here, maybe things won't go the way you think because of the crowd. There's about 30 million people rolling over 10 days. It's not a joke. And we need to be a little more, having more patience, because Imam Hussein had a lot of patience. Be courteous to others, Zawar. You know, like when you find an elderly senior citizen, you find a female, help them out. You know, while offloading the luggages, we are few, and maybe those caretakers, those helpers, they can't manage, especially due to the checkpost, and when you're especially crossing, you know, those security points. You know, you have to bring your luggages out when you're coming back of Baghdad. Please help out. Don't say, you know, oh, this is not mine, you know, my responsibility. I paid the money. No. Behave normally, you know, as much as possible, like Imam Hussein wants you to behave. Now, importantly, wherever you go, when you are entering the zari of any personality, you have to ask permission, which is known as Izne Dukhul. So you say, can I enter? Very simple. You can even say in English, can I enter, Ya Imam? You go to Hazrat Abbas, oh yes, Hazrat Abbas, can I enter here? You are seeking humility and asking permission to enter. Now, another thing, very importantly from akhlaq point of view, you know, many people, they like to talk a lot. You know, I haven't met you, I talk. Avoid unnecessary talking. Encourage positive talking. You know, very importantly is how you manage yourself. And then, when you are especially under the valley of Imam Hussein, whenever you get an opportunity to go under the dome, make your du'as. But don't make your du'as first. Make du'a for others first. Remember, everybody who is sick, we need our du'as, especially our Shia brothers in Iraq, in Syria, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Kashmir, and especially the big prison of Palestine in Gaza. It's good to think as a human being, because I was hearing today one Pandit, one Brahmin, he was talking about Imam Hussein.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
He was talking about Imam Hussein, and he's saying Imam Hussein does not belong to this sect or that sect. Imam Hussein is a universal personality. You remember when Imam Hussein, that's what he's saying, he also, people from Balochistan, Afghanistan, and part of Sindh, they all wanted to go and support Imam Hussein. So they feel connected with Imam Hussein in that way. So when we go there, we go to Arbaeen time, they are mawqib, there are people who are serving you, they give free food, free sleeping, everything, even massage. Yeah, we pay, right? You don't have to pay that. All these things are so important that you should recognize that these people are doing only for the pleasure and the love of Abu Abdullah. The love is so much of Abu Abdullah. So for our part, when we go there, we should feel for these people. You know, when you walk, like Brother Aki will tell you, when you're walking there, it's not about walking. It's about companion. Like Asghar Bhai said, Labbaika ya Hussein. Here I am, Hussein. I've come. I've come. You remember that Hal min Nasirin yan suruna, and making it proactive, making it practical, living with it in today's life. So the other thing is, try to do your, this is what I would do, try to do all your salah in the haram. Pray your salah in the haram. I know it's tough, but you can get there. I did all my salah in the haram as much as possible. And when you are in Masjid al-Kufa, you are allowed to pray full rakat. There's no qasr there. And under the dome of Imam Hussein, it's full. No qasr there as well. So try and make these things. And take your books, because you're not allowed to take your electronic equipment over there. Take a book like Sefer Kamila, Sefer Sijjadiyah, your Ziyaraat Kamila, and do as much as possible, pray namaz those which are required, Ja'far al-Tayyar, recite Ziyaraat Ashura, and do whatever you can to help you out. So here I am with you. I want to just request you that whenever you are, I said this before, let us remember each other in our du'as. Let us make this most of this journey. In conclusion, one time I was going to the Holy Land, and I was going for Hajj. So the guy told me, "You go for Hajj?" I said, "Yeah." "How much is it costing?" He said, "It was then about $7,000. I said, "Oh, really? What do you do there?" So I told him the part which I think he felt was very unusual for him. I said, "I go to Muzdalifah, and at night I sleep, or I'm awake on the sand, maybe with a sleeping bag at the most." "Oh, really? You pay $7,000 to go and do that?" But he didn't understand the essence of Hajj. So similarly, when you tell people, "I'm spending so much money and going for Abu Abdullah," they will never get it until they go there. You have to experience it. You have to have it practically there, especially wherever you go. But of course, for Arbaeen, you will then recognize, you know what, how much I have gained in this ziyarah trip of Abu Abdullah and all our imams. You're going to get the ziyarat of how many imams in Iraq? 6 imams. See, there you are. It's a bonus. So may Allah reward you all, and inshallah take you again, and us too, again and again to the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah. And also may Allah reward Razia Bhai, Asghar Bhai, all the others, and Brother Akib, who all participated as a team and make a team effort to make people again and again, and making a practical call of our 60 Imam look greater today than before. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The next brother who's going to speak is Mohammed Bhai Asif. He is expert on walking. He's been doing it for so many years, and every time Razia goes, he's always there. He's going to give you the whole how to how to walk, but the logistic of walking and the difficulties of the design.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I will take about 10 minutes of your time. We will inshallah have a more detailed seminar a day before the walk in Najaf, which would be probably half an hour to an hour, covering many more details. So for now, we will just go through very quickly a couple of basics about the walking, and then a couple of things that you have to know before you start the journey. How many of you have walked before? Okay, a few. It's Kamala is walking with me on the office. He's actually Alamdaar in the flag bearer in the walk. Okay, so we got about 50 plus requests for walkers. So it seems like
how many registered?
Yeah, I even got today as well. I think it seems to be a very sizable number. I think we'll probably reach, I don't know how many total, but it seems a lot, overall, definitely much more than the people
Yeah.
present here probably online and from other countries as well. So inshallah, a couple of quick things I wanted to say was, first of all, I want to congratulate you. I think it's congratulations is due for people who get selected to go for Ziyaraat, because based on the talking with the ulama, with the maraji, it's we at one point in time went to all the 4 maraji in Najaf, Atlas Sistani, and other 3 as well, and they said that nobody should believe that they are making this decision on their own. Whether it's the decision to walk, to come for Ziyarah, this is something that Imam Hussain personally chooses the people who are getting this tawfiq to be able to go for Ziyarah. So, my congratulations for being chosen to be able to go for Ziyarah. I just wanted to quickly correlate 2 things. Like, one was my personally first Ziyarah was in Mashhad. And when I went to the Haram of Imam Reza, it was a different world for me. I was at Microsoft at the time. I'd never gone for any Ziyarah. And this was the first time I had gone for Ziyarah, and I noticed and witnessed many things that were life-changing. And, I was like fascinated. This is a different world altogether from where I had grown up and lived. I went to one of the people at the Haram, who's very much a good brother, and he had been working, he's one of the khuddams of the Haram. So I told him that, what do you witness here when you are here? And he said, if I tell you the miracles that I see on a daily basis, I can't correlate them to you. I don't think it's a good idea. But I insisted. I said, I'm witnessing so many amazing things here. Can you share some of your experience? He said, I'll share an experience of my father, who was also a khuddam, and he was posted at the gate. He said he had one of these people who came from a village, and they were on crutches. And because they were on crutches, and he was from like a rural area, he came to my father and said that, where is Imam Reza? And so my father said that, my father thought that he was making fun of him, because my father was standing with other khuddam. So he told this brother that, Imam Reza is across this courtyard, for those of you who've been, and up the minaret, because he wanted to kind of, also be joking with him. So this person said, okay. And 5-7 minutes later, he said, my father noticed that although he was on crutches, he had made his way all the way to the minaret, and he was actually now climbing the staircase. So he said, my father felt terrible that, actually this guy was a very simple, naive guy from a village, and he didn't realize that he wasn't joking. So he says, my father rushed to the minaret to kind of apologize to him. Said by the time he reached him, he came down. The person was coming down, and my father noticed that he had no crutches. So I asked, my father said to him that, I'm so sorry that, I thought you were joking with me when you said, where is Imam Reza? So I said, okay, he's up there in the minaret, and you just started walking. But he said the person started hugging and crying and kissing my father, and he said, thank you so much for letting me know. As I made my way through to this minaret and I was climbing, I saw somebody coming down, and that person asked me, who are you? So I said, I'm a Ziyar of Imam Reza. And the person said, I am Imam Reza, and you don't need to come up, I will come down to meet with you. And you don't need to have these crutches. So the person said, I've had them from the beginning since I was born. And he said that, no, you don't need them. You can throw them away and you can walk away. And that was a fascinating experience. And again, this is about Imam Reza. What I have noticed for the many times that I've gone to Imam Hussein's Ziyarah, I have witnessed things that are, inexplainable in normal terms. And inshallah, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, inshallah, have all of us experience these miracles of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And as just like Imam Ali alayhi salam came down to meet with this person, alhamdulillah, Imam Hussain alayhi salam has invited us. Inshallah, he will meet with us, and he will, inshallah, give us, the spiritual help in particular that we need in addition to the material help. Brother Khalil pointed out to some of the etiquettes of the Ziyarah, again, to let for example, for Imam Khomeini rahmatullah, when he used to go for the Ziyarah of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, sometimes, oftentimes, it's written by his friends that he would, polish the shoes of the Zaireen who were with him, coming with him, or he would make tea for them, or he would iron their clothes, and they would be very upset that, how are you doing it? And he said, this is, in a way, this is an honor for me to be able to serve the Zaireen of Imam Hussain alayhi salam who is gone. In terms of the people who are going to be walking, for example, Ayatollah Khamenei said last year or 2 years ago, Ya laytani kuntu ma'akum, which is a very interesting statement. This is a statement we use for the people who are the ashab of Imam Hussain in Karbala. And Ayatollah Khamenei used this sentence for those who were walking, and saying that I wish I was able to walk with you from Najaf to Karbala as well. So this was the statement released by him. And we have, for example, after Ayatollah Taqi Tahjat's passing away, one of the greatest well-known urafa of our time is Ayatollah Tahriri. And Ayatollah Tahriri was walking last year, for example, along with the walkers, there will be 10 million people. So, alhamdulillah, it's a great honor. You know, we are living in an amazing time. As Brother Khalid pointed out, there's never actually been a time where 30 million people are gathering together around the shrine of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Over 10 million walkers, over 337 million meals served for free, and etc. etc. The numbers are just, you know, they don't add up. And this is what you're seeing across the world. I mean, I had an opportunity to go to Indonesia, Togo, Ghana, and Nigeria and other places, and the love of Imam Hussain that's spreading there. There have been Muslims for 1400 years, especially after the Islamic Revolution. Now you have tens of millions of people in these countries who are becoming Muslims. I mean, I was just in Indonesia 2 weeks ago. I asked the Shia community there, how many of you have been to Karbala? And only one person raised hand. And then I said, how many of you would like to go to Karbala? And the entire, you know, congregation just erupted, and they said, you know, please pray for us. We would love to go here. And I did not meet anyone who was a born Shia. Everybody there was a converted Shia. So alhamdulillah, we are living in a great time. We are looking forward to this. In terms of the logistics of the walk, please do keep in mind that this walk is about a 100-kilometer walk. It's 3 days. You know, I just want to make sure that everybody has the right expectation. As Brother Khalid pointed out, that, you know, this is a very, very crowded time of the year at Arbaeen. Alhamdulillah, it's beautiful to see so many lovers of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and you meet people from Thailand, Indonesia, Bahrain, everywhere, right? Lebanon. However, the walkers are about 10 to 15 million walkers. People are providing as much service as they can, but this is not something where you have hotels or services along the way. You know, you cannot walk for 30 seconds without coming across something which is called a mokib, meaning that there's all these 100 kilometers. The Iraqis have built, Iraqis and others, Iranians and Kuwaitis and others have built these places to serve the Zayareen. Some of them work the whole year and they sell whatever they have. I have met people who have sold their furniture, who have taken loans. I have friends who have mokibs who the whole family gathers together, whatever they earn in the year, and then they spend it on you. But it does mean that the level of services that are available in the mokib vary. Sometimes you run into situations where we have booked a mokib, but by the time we reach there, there are already people who have come there, and now you can't ask them to leave. Alhamdulillah, the spirit is beautiful. I mean, my first walk almost 10 years ago, at 2:30 in the night, I reached the mokib. It was super cold. At that time, it was -6 or -7. And for 20 minutes, I ended up in a whispering argument with an Iraqi who was speaking in Arabic, and I was speaking in English because he wanted to give me his blanket. And you see that type of spirit often, but it does mean, alhamdulillah, we've had a beautiful walking experience for the last 9-10 years that we've walked. Sometimes you get someone who doesn't have the right idea about the walk. I mean, we have, for example, in the past, on the exceptional side, someone, let's say, who's very upset about the condition of a washroom, or that this thing is not like that, and they get very, very upset. There's absolutely nothing that Brother Asghar or Sister Razia or I can do to manage sort of the conditions of the washrooms or the conditions of the mokibs around there. We kind of basically, for my part, I'm a volunteer. We're trying our best to sort of be able to provide the services that they are providing and in advance, and talking to them and trying to get to a place where inshallah we can have. But again, please, for those of you who are planning to walk, do keep this expectation in mind that it is not a 5-star experience. It's a 50-star experience in one way, and it's not even a 1-star experience in another way. So if you're going with that mindset that, I'm going to go somewhere, there's like sort of a hotel place, I'm going to be able to check in and, get my own bed, and, I'm going to get all these services, this is not a right mindset to have. And it's something that would not be a good experience for you or for the others around you. So when we have an individual like this, and alhamdulillah, in many cases we don't, sometimes we have 2 or 3 people out of the 100 walkers that have that mindset. But what I've noticed is that they really take away from their own Ziyaraat experience and from the Ziyaraat experience of the others by constantly complaining against, this place wasn't clean, this bed wasn't right, this pillow wasn't comfortable. So I would personally request that it's better for you and for me and for others that if you took the bus and went to the hotel directly and did walk. If you are going to walk, please do keep that in mind, that it's an experience of basically the volunteers, Iraqi volunteers providing the services, and us sort of trying to get. It's not an experience in terms of luxury. That's one thing I wanted to point out. The second thing I wanted to point out is, please do keep in mind that it's a 100-kilometer walk. It's not easy or even possible in many cases For you, if after 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 30 kilometers that you say, okay, I don't want to continue, it's not that you can take sort of, for example, a car or taxi and get to the hotel. It's a very long and arduous process, especially if you don't speak the Arabic language, you're not familiar with the area. We don't have someone available who can go with you to drop you back to the hotel. The roads are closed. Primarily, they only open typically in the night, or it's very, very crowded. When you do take a road, you, for example, will get to Hedaria, get dropped there, walk in a few, kilometers, get to another taxi, then get dropped 5 kilometers before, then walk for a few hours. It's 30 million people getting there. So if you, for example, end up getting really tired and you can't continue, it's not an easy thing. Especially, I would request some people, like I got some emails about people, for example, who are not in a physically fit condition in terms of walking, and they don't have a caretaker with them. Meaning that, they're walking, they're thinking of trying out the walk, but they're not sure if they'll be able to complete it, but they don't have somebody from their family, for example, who could take them along. My request is that for you, it is better that you go to Karbala, you can sync with Sister Razia, that you go to Karbala and then you kind of in a way either get dropped 10 kilometers before Karbala, or you go to Karbala and you walk, in a way like 5 kilometers or something, so that way you can have the experience of the walk without getting yourself into a situation where you're stuck at the 20th kilometer mark and now you can't move, you can't go, you're stuck, you're worried, you can't make it to the sort of the hotels. So please, my request is that do keep that consideration in mind, and if you are walking, if you have that group and if you have someone like that, then make sure you're walking with someone who will be willing to stop walking and then be able to take you all the way to the hotel. And as I said, it's not an easy thing. In the past, it has taken anywhere from 3 hours to 11 hours for the person to be able to reach to the, it's only 100 kilometers, right? But even if you break down it like 20 or 30 kilometers, it can take you anywhere from 3 hours to 11 hours to get there. So it's something that I want to make sure that everyone is clear about it. It's not, sometimes people haven't gone, they have this idea that, okay, I'll try for 5 kilometers and I'll take a car and I'll go. It's not that easy of a task to do. The other part that if you ask me, alhamdulillah, the walk is done with the heart, not with the legs or with the physical fitness on one level. So in terms of the people that I've seen who haven't been able to complete in certain cases, despite being physical fitness, if I have to say one thing, I would say it's because they try to prepare for everything. So their bags are so heavy. When you're walking for 100 kilometers, if you have 1 pound, it will start feeling like 20 pounds, about 40 kilometers in, 50 kilometers in. So please, everything is provided. Food is provided, snacks are provided, everything possible that you can think of is provided. The lighter your bag is, the more chances you have of being able to complete the walk successfully. So please, please, please don't fill your bag to the point like sometimes I have individuals and then again, it's just very difficult for you to walk if you have a very heavy bag. Yes, you can walk for 5 hours, but you can't walk for 3 days, which is what it takes with that type of a bag. Personally, some people prefer the backpack, which is fine. Personally, I prefer the roller bag. Again, but even the roller bag has to be, and these are things that I'm talking about right now that you can do before you go for the walk. These roller bags have to be a certain type, and again, I think I've sent the video link to everybody who emailed me, which has pictures of this type of a bag with a little bit of larger wheels, so it's something that you can do. Another thing that is super critical before you leave for Iraq is having the right shoes and having the socks. I can't tell you how important it is to have the right socks. The socks cannot be very tight and they cannot be very loose. In fact, if they're a little bit loose, what happens is that when you're talking for 100 kilometers, your socks and your skin starts having friction, and it results into really bad conditions for your foot, and you get problems essentially. So basically getting the right bag, not taking stuff that you don't absolutely need. Again, if you feel that you absolutely cannot live without it for a day or two, then otherwise, Sister Razia will be organizing this luggage to go to the thing. So please keep it really light. Get the right shoes. Don't try to buy a shoe a day before you go for the walk, because you don't know how to work out. So please make sure you have a comfortable shoe. I think that's sort of the basic things that you need to know before you head out from here, from Canada. Inshallah, after this thing, I would be available if somebody has any questions. And as I said, in terms of the detailed logistics, how the walk works, where we stop, where we sleep, what do you do if you get lost, all of those things, it's absolutely mandatory and critical for you to attend the Monday night seminar. We'll be starting the walk on Tuesday. So please make sure that you are there. Sister Razia will inshallah share the details of that seminar, just so that you know exactly what the plan is, where to stop, if you get lost, where to go, how to make it to the hotel in case you get disconnected from the group, and all of those things inshallah I'll cover when I'm doing that seminar at the hotel. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, sister.
Thank you, Brother Mohammed Adil. I did not introduce you properly. Mohammed Adil is the director of Wali Asr School, which is really successful. The number of years I've known him when he started Masmin Center, alhamdulillah, they really have many schools now into high school. They're getting into a building. They have organized sort of contribution dinners and everything. So, you know, if you can support the school, I think it's a very good idea. The other thing I wanted to say is what Muhammad Adil said about Imam Raza alayhi salam. Ziyaraat of Imam Raza is not an ordinary ziyarat. Because like when we started to do the ziyarat, me and Razia, I could never go to ziyarat of Imam Raza alayhi salam. And Razia would go. So I met this gentleman in Iraq, in Najaf. And I was telling him, and he said, I had the same situation. Then he brought a book. In the book, it says, like Imam Raza Ziyarat book, it says only people who are invited personally by Imam Raza alayhi salam would be best to go to Ziyarat of Imam Raza. So alhamdulillah, after that, I did get the invitation and I did visit Imam Raza alayhi salam. When Brother Adil said those who cannot walk for the full 100 kilometers, they have made arrangement. The last checkpoint when you reach Karbala, I think you're going by military road. Yes. So what happens, like the walk, you've seen the 401, right? One side 401, that whole land you see nothing but human beings walking, like shoulder to shoulders. Like they're coming from Basra, they're coming from Baghdad, they're coming as far as, you know, where they're there. So this is what it is. Okay. Is there any question from our brother Adam? Anybody?
What is the weather?
Huh?
Weather.
The weather.
Do we need to get a?
The weather is going to be like now in the daytime. At night you get in the walk. Yeah. Right? When you walk, it's going to be open. So at night it's cold.
It's slightly cold. One of the good ideas is to take some kind of persian that you can tie on your waist, because what happens is that the weather variation is almost 20 degrees, meaning that it gets extremely hot at like, you know, at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and it's slightly cold, not as cold as it used to be in December, but you know, it is like a cold kind of weather, not like a Canada cold, but maybe let's say 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 5 degrees, that type of a thing. So it's a good idea to take a cardigan that you can wear, and as it becomes hotter, and if you don't want to put it in your back, you can kind of tie it. So something like a light jacket should be enough.
And then the haram, like, you know, everything is stone and marble.
Yes.
So there's no heat resistance. You feel cold.
Yes,
right?
in the night.
I feel cold when I go to the Zaria haram, but it is cold, right?
In the night especially.
Okay. Does anybody have any question?
Yes.
Okay. The luggage, yeah. Sorry.
The Arbaeen day in Iraq is going to be Friday. Because here we are a day early.
See, one of the things that they do in Iraq, and alhamdulillah, it's been happening really nicely, is that, especially last year, Ayatollah Sistani and Ayatollah Khamenei, Ayatollah Sistani had told the Iraqis to go early on. So often the Iraqis will do the Arbaeen Ziyarah 2 or 3 days before Arbaeen. Last year, Ayatollah Khamenei, because out of the 30 million, 15, I don't know, 10 million Iranians, we have Farsi everywhere. Last year, Ayatollah Khamenei told his followers that they could also do the Arbaeen 1 year early and give the space to people like us who are coming from Canada. So alhamdulillah, last year it was really good in terms of millions of people returning 1 day before. What they're saying right now is that it's most likely to be on Friday. That's what they're saying. It's going to be on Friday. So we will be reaching 1 day before the day of Arbaeen, inshallah.
So that's like Arbaeen night is Thursday night. So
Thursday. We'll be there Thursday at about 4 o'clock. So we'll start Tuesday morning after Fajr, and we will, inshallah, depending on the speed, and sometimes we end up dividing up, but from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we'll start reaching in smaller groups into the area. So inshallah, by night you will be in
Karbala. But just remember, because you've been walking for 3 days, your body is really tired. And once you hit the bed, you're gone for a number of hours, right? Like you'll be
Yeah, it's difficult to do much in that time.
So one person was asking, do they need an immunization shot for the Arbaeen trip?
No, they don't. They don't. And all those workers, the luggage will be taken, and when you reach Karbala, they'll be in your room. So Razia will be there with the volunteers, everybody waiting for you. And I don't know if I mentioned that those who want to walk for a short distance, the last checkpoint which is coming, the bus will stop there, and then you can walk for the 10 kilometers, right? Is it 10? Yeah, so 10. Those whose intention is to walk, so they can do the walk, the last 10 kilometers, and they'll meet you in the hotel. If there's no other question, I just want to discuss, we have two add-on program after that. There's one group going to Damascus and one group going to Iran. So all the visas, all the tickets, all the hotels, everything has been done on our side. We have already sent you the program and where to meet us. Those are going to Dubai. On November the 4th at 10:45 a.m. at terminal number 2 outside Starbucks. Not inside. When you go to terminal number 2, before you go to the check-in counter, there's Starbucks there. You just wait there, Razia, and the coordinators will be there waiting for you. Just a reminder that the allowance for the baggage is 20 kilograms. So when you go from here, you allow 2 pieces. So when you go there, you only allow 20 kilograms. So those, you can leave the luggage in Dubai and come back. But those who are going further, it's going to be very difficult for you to get the luggage. Brother, I did mention about the mobile phone. If you will not really check that Ramsey did, you're not allowed to take mobile phones, cameras inside the haram. They have to be left at the hotel, or they have amanat, which is where they will give you a token and you can take your phone or cameras when you go back to the hotel. Everything, the program will be announced every day. There will be notice about what the program is. We're going for a day trip to Kazman and Samra, Karbala. And this other thing is punctuality. Please make sure that you do abide by the time. So Razia has sent everybody the hotel phone number in Iraq, in Dubai. And she has also forwarded the program, right? You have everything there. Contact everything. I'll be here if there's any issues there. Yeah, all the hotels in Karbala and Jafari, they have Wi-Fi. But on the day of Arbaeen, there's so many people, you cannot even get any signal. The signal is totally bad. Alhamdulillah, everybody, inshallah, we pray that everything is wonderful for everybody, and inshallah, do remember us in your prayers for those who are going there, inshallah. Any questions? Once again, thank you, Sheikh Shamsi, Sheikh Brother Abbas, and Shubai for your services to you. Thank you. Okay, so please come and have some refreshments, some chai, and then we can be there together. Assam. Then you with the books you please do come and have some refreshments. You can't take it. Anyway, any branch or you can take it. Ryan, you're living on 17.